What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nikolai Espresso, and welcome back to another Black Ops 3 video here today on my channel. Today what we got for you guys is a little bit more speculative and critical thinking rather than news and information. This one we've known about for quite some time now, but we still have absolutely no information on, and no real clear indication as to what it actually means or its actual relevance in the Black Ops 3 storyline yet. So will this video actually have the answers to all these questions? Most likely not. There are a few areas that we could go and possibly make some general assumptions for ourselves, but I personally cannot say 100% that we're going to figure this out. This is something that I want to reach out to you guys as well, because this is something that the community as a whole is still generally stumped on if they're still paying attention to it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So for those of you guys that do remember the viral campaign that started here during the hype period as it initiated for Black Ops 3, one of the biggest things that we saw out of this was the emergence of the Twitter account of the Unmarked man. This account was followed by Treyarch themselves, who follow only 15 people in total, but this one was one of the accounts that was followed by Treyarch. So that is what pretty much skyrocketed this account into the legitimacy of the community and gained a lot of publicity in the public eye in terms of Call of Duty's community. But we did know for a fact that they were tweeting out some very cryptic stuff and what seemed to be some very important things to the Black Ops 3 campaign. Now, the very first tweet that this account had was "The incident changed everything," with the incident being capitalized as if signifying that it's its own specific event, something that is recognized to the point where it has its own legitimate name. So what is this incident? That is the big question here in today's video, something that, again, I'm not sure if I can clear up for you guys because it is still quite a mystery to me and pretty much everybody else in the community. But there are two things that I can see potentially possible here for what the incident actually is in terms of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Now, this one does have two different avenues in which it could go, but two very different ones at that. The first one is one that I am not too sure of. It's one that really stumps me extremely because it was just so well hidden and so shrouded in mystery, and it's been really ongoing if this is a case possibly. But if you guys do remember the alter ego almost of the Unmarked man, Jaxi Planet, another viral Twitter account that didn't get as much publicity but did have a giant stance in the viral campaign as well. The very first thing that he tweeted out was a SoundCloud link to the file Questions by Jaxi Planet on SoundCloud. Now, along with this extremely cryptic sounding file, we also did get an image that said the asteroid 2052 CD98 is predicted to pass close to Earth on April 21st. The potentially hazardous flyby of 2052 CD98 will be less than 0.05 AU, and its diameter is estimated to be between 400 and 800 meters. Objects of this size are large enough to cause large-scale destruction if it were to impact on the surface of the Earth. JPL, which manages the Near-Earth Object Program for NASA, declined to comment on 2052 CD98. Now, we started with this one because there are a few different ways that this can go here in terms of actually what it could mean for the storyline, and all of which don't really have too much of a stable foothold. But the community sees this a few different ways, the first of which being, and probably the one that maybe gained the most traction but maybe had the least validity, was the fact that it was dealing with the zombies campaign, that this asteroid 2052 CD98 was the one that we can see throughout the various maps within the zombie storyline, that this was actually where element 115 came from. That was one of the theories, but another one deals with the GK Nova 6 documents all the way from the Black Ops games, and this actually carried over. Now, this I can't really comment too much on because there's just so much to it and so much that just intertwines with various different places within the Black Ops storyline and even further out into real life conspiracies, but it is something definitely to consider, but also ultimately ties back into Project Bluebird or MK Ultra. So if I'm not too big of a fan of these two theories, what is it that I personally think could actually be the incident? Well, if you guys do remember, there also was a viral website along with these accounts as well as the intertwined pieces pieces throughout the trailer that dropped for Black Ops 3 at the time of all of these. That led to Enhance Yourself for a Better Tomorrow, which the actual version storyline took place. Now, we did talk about this quite a few times here on my channel before, but we're going to be talking about it here in the next couple of days because there are some very key pieces that we missed throughout this. But the incident really focuses on one part of the narrative. It is a two-part story that we saw in the version storyline, one going back to Singapore in 2037 and then going up to Zurich in 2063 with Garmet and Bastion as our respective characters. This portion of the story deals with Bastion's point of view up in Zurich 2063. Now, pardon the excerpt of this actual passage, but it's something that needs to be read to you guys to get the full effect. At first, it just feels like Terracum. 7 doubles in, seeing double. That sense of being there and not, and then your dinner coming up and out. But I don't vomit. The 6-year-old in front of me does. I know I'm dreaming, so the boy with the blood coming out of his eyes shouldn't scare me. My breathing doesn't need to heave like his. It's up to me. I know he's not real, so when he vomits again and a coagulated mess of red and purple hits the ground, when he falls down and his little hand leaves a palm print in his own insides, I tell myself to stop. Get it together. Get out. It's enough to turn me around, transport me back across Singapore, quiet as Chernobyl, and just as diluted, just as full of death. City officials told everyone to stay inside, so there are the boys' dead parents, still holding each other in bed, windows shut, dust masks kissing. The cocktail of chemicals in the atmosphere was different here than on the block where it hit the boy. Air is more yellow than green, more runium than neodymium. The parents got theirs peaceful, coughing in suffocation, but at least some awareness. Enough time to lie down, embrace, stop breathing as one. To give a thought to who I come back to now, their boy, blinded by the blood, calling through red for help, for mommy, for nothing when it overcomes. His skin begins to singe from the inside out. Another school down the block will come down with tummy aches, but the wrong breeze means this boy will receive more toxins than air. It means before he's even passed, alone in his sandbox, his skin will begin to scab and scale, ghostly white flakes that will fall, delicate as he, with final breaths. I wake up screaming, then cussing because this nightmare is my own goddamn fault. Coverage of the 3-year anniversary of the Singapore disaster is playing on the bedroom display. It was probably playing all night, infecting me from the moment I stumbled home and blacked out. I rub my eyes and I sleepwalk into the shower. I take punishment from the hottest water I can bear. I get dressed and I head to work. I ignore the newscasters who debate whether Coalescence Corporation paid the right price for their role in the most lethal chemical leak in history. That right there, my friends, that is what I thoroughly believe is the incident. The Unmarked man is referring to what I believe is the Singapore disaster, that dealing with our main corporation here, at least that we know of so far in Black Ops 3, the Coalescence Corporation. And if you guys did read onto this by yourselves on your own time, you'll know that this whole simulation and version storyline offers a tremendous amount of detail into the backstory leading up into Black Ops 3, and with this Singapore disaster and the Coalescence Corporation's hand in the most lethal chemical leak in history, we don't know where this is actually going to take us, but the incident has been in fact teased here and there throughout the actual stages that we've seen so far of the hype period for Black Ops 3 and getting some of this information. Now, what makes me believe this even a little bit further is the fact that some of these tweets that we've seen from the Unmarked man appear as direct quotes from this version storyline. There are word-for-word tweets that coincide with the actual passages in this story. But recapping, like I said at the very beginning of this video, is this something that we've just figured out? Is this something that we've cracked the code? I personally don't even know. I don't have the slightest clue. Your guess is as good as mine, but this is something that I wanted to bring you guys because it's something that now still a couple weeks after it's revealed to the community, it's something that has not even really been touched, let alone figured out. And especially with something that seems to have so much significance, hopefully it does get resolved here sometime shortly. But thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you did make it this far, that's where we're gonna end this video today. Let me just think down there in the comment section down below, what do you guys think the incident is here for Black Ops 3? Now, if you did like the video, be sure to like rating down below, any shares to your Facebook, Twitter, and or MySpace. If you're check that, always greatly appreciated. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for the best of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 content. Any new news and information, you guys know exactly where to find it right here on my channel. We're going to be covering more of this version storyline in depth, going back and finding some pieces that people overlooked and didn't really pay much attention to that are actually quite important to the storyline, at least so I believe, here in the next couple of days. So stick around for that if you do like that. But thank you guys once again so much for watching. My name's been Nikolai Espresso. As always, hope you guys are having a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care and peace. Walk over.